Make every step count. Make every step count. And when things start getting hard, make every step count. So this year will be the true test. I hit the lottery and was selected to run the Hardrock 100, one of the toughest ultra runs on earth. 2 months later, I'll be hunting mountain goats in the backcountry of Alaska. My name is Kevin Davis. I'm 46 years old and I live in Livingston, Montana.
We met at the gym. He was 220 pounds, big guy.
I got started running after I had my first child. I stopped going to the gym because time was limited and my wife had run when we first met. So one day, instead of going to the gym, took off for a 1 mile run from my house. Well, I didn't quite finish that 1 mile run, was the worst part. I weighed 220 pounds and was not in very good shape. So that run was difficult. After a miserable failure of that first 1 mile run, I decided I was going to run every day from then on and try and just get a few steps further than the day before.
I think he just found something he really loved about running, and hunting has always been a passion.
The type of hunting that I enjoy best is being able to get back in the backcountry, being in shape and being able to run 100 miles definitely is an asset when it comes to my hunting. As a working class guy who wants to access public lands and wild places, it's huge to me. But for my kids, I want them to have access to the same things that I had access to and to experience what I got to experience.
Hunters and anglers, but there's this kind of growing outdoor sports community. We share so many of the same things. You know, that idea of adventure and solitude and challenge and this kind of experience that you can't get anywhere else but public lands, like these big wide open places. I think that's what we share.
I met Alyssa, who had never had wild game ever in her life.
I was a vegetarian for 20 years, and now we eat meat like every meal.
Yeah, that's perfect. It has nothing else on it or in it. Alyssa fell in love with wild game. And so I've been charged basically every year to stocking the freezer because it's a huge part of our diet and our lifestyle. So it is 10 to 2, and that's 10 to 2 a.m. Heading to the M here in Bozeman to begin a 12-hour, 32-mile, 16,000-foot vertical day. One of my larger training days, getting ready for Hardrock. Morning.
I don't know if I said last time, but last update said 24 miles of snow still in the course.
Running in the mountains is like this, sort of this ultimate meshing of all the things that I've ever really loved to do. Be in the mountains, hunting, competing, suffering.
Why do we do this? It's your idea. Freeze your brain, so you don't even think about it. Don't throw up on it.
There's a beauty to it. There's like this weird beauty to the suffering. Can you do it? Can you deal with it? Can you get through it? Will you come out the other side?
The Hardrock 100 is one of the most amazing ultramarathon mountain running races in the world, down in Silverton, Colorado in the San Juan Mountains. 100 miles, close to 34,000 feet of elevation gain over those 100 miles. I think the average altitude is over 11,100 feet. People say it's the hardest 100 miler in the world. I say it's the slowest. I don't know if it's the hardest, but it's definitely the slowest.
Hardrock started out well. Saturday morning, left the starting line and felt really good. Was making my way through the first 10K felt great and missed a turn. That was the first of a couple of mistakes that I made on the day. I could tell that I wasn't running at my potential, and I was a little off my game.
Lightning and hail when we're trying to get under some willows, everybody starts shivering. We sprinted 4 miles in a hailstorm.
It's all about that journey, and so every journey's different. That's all part of the allure, is that process. Started walking up Camp Bird Road. That's when it all really went south. My stomach turned over walking up Camp Bird Road, and I threw up for hours going up that. This was an actual breaking of the spirit. I don't think that I can do this finally entered my head. We were going to hunt a mountain that had never been hunted before. You go to Alaska and it's completely unknown, and then all of a sudden you're in it, and it's just like being at mile 20 of a race. All of a sudden you're like, you have 80 miles ahead of you, and you don't know how you're gonna get it done. The reality of being isolated, the reality of the large toothy predators, the reality of no one's ever been on this mountain before. Yeah, it was very humbling.
I like to describe it as grit, right? That feeling when you're in the woods and you're hiking up that mountain, and man, you're beat down. It feels like it can't get any worse. And at that point, you can either turn around or you can buck up.
This place is truly, truly wild. I never thought it would be like this. This was a lot more romantic back in January when we were talking about it. Snow-capped peaks, clear blue skies, lots of goats. I've seen more grizzly bears than I have mountain goats so far this trip. Yeah, not today. You don't ever really push through it. You just kind of dance with it. You just sort of deal with it. And that's what allows you to get through it. You never beat it. You just deal with it. We got into Telluride. I broke down pretty heavily. Getting into the aid station, there was my wife and my kids. Wasn't feeling good. And there were more Eggos and waffles and hot tea. And all of a sudden, I felt like a completely different person. I remember distinctly telling Adam, I don't know if I can get over these next 3 climbs. And Adam looked at me and said, you don't have to get over these next 3 climbs. He goes, you have to get over the next climb.
I just think he has this internal self-motivator.
You turn that corner and there's the rock, man. That's what it's all about.
Kevin Davis, you're back. You persevered. You took the hard way.
We headed up Monday morning and immediately got into goats. I had a billy 30 yards bedded below me. Could have easily taken the shot. Recovery was starting to become the issue up on the ridge that we were hunting. These billies slept on the side of this ridge, and anytime they felt any pressure, they went down, and it was thousands of feet into cliffy alder, nasty waterfalls. We found a big billy with a smaller billy. From his bed, about 10 meters below him, was probably 1,000-foot drop-off. So if we anchor him in his bed, he doesn't make it to the drop-off, we have our goat. So I borrowed our guide's rifle, got set up about 100 yards. Oh God, man. It's a really nice billy. There's this connection between us and those places and those animals. You know, you've just provided for your family. I think we humans have a desire to range just like a lot of the wildlife do. You know, in order for us to really have that sense of solitude at times, that sense of peace, that sense of exploration and adventure, you know, these foundational things that are valuable to us, we need these big open spaces to have that. I love the loose parts of being in open spaces. Like it's just this wild, uncontrolled place to be, and nowadays I think that space is even more important. Going into the unknown, the uncertainty, you're gonna hurt. What's the level gonna be? One thing that I've always taught my kids, we don't quit. And when things start getting hard, make every step count.